Hello, everyone, and good afternoon. How are you doing today? How is your Tuesday going so far? Welcome to Speak Right, also known as Creative's Corner, here on NYSC Radio 88.3 FM Abuja. My name, as always, is Emmanuel Ebo, your favorite very tall black man on the microphone, and I'm being quite specific and clear in pronouncing my name and title clearly. So some people, especially the one that is in this studio with me right now, so she can know how to introduce me, very well next time. She knows anyway. I have Sonia here in the studio with me. Sonia, how are you doing today?
I don't even know what to even say to you. All that introduction was for what? All those unnecessary
For
talk.
clarity, to avoid unnecessary drama next time.
Anywho.
If you know, you know.
Okay, no problem. Hello guys. It's always lovely to be here on Creative Corner, or Speak Right, aka Creative Corner, because I don't know where you might get all these show names from, but okay. So yeah, it's lovely to be here again. Some people are giving me some side eye in this
It's
studio.
not difficult to identify people that don't, they're not like versatile readers. It's not difficult. Well, yeah, today, guys, we're going to discuss
Oh
an
my
important
God.
topic as usual. And today's topic is, let's just call it how to communicate anger. Recently I saw a video, I think somewhere, either Instagram or Facebook or TikTok, and I'm not sure right now, but this woman came and said that she wish they would like set out a day every month for you to face that one co-worker you don't like and fight them. Like, let two of you like dig it out. Whoever wins. So, but people can actually get angry. Like, I think anger is an integral part of human beings. If no matter how cordial you are with anybody, no matter how close, how intimate, you can still get angry at them. You can still get mad at them because nobody is perfect. We're all flawed in one way or the other. People can't actually behave exactly as you want them to behave all the time, and because of that, anger is almost inevitable. So when anger happens, when you become angry, when you eventually cannot stomach it any longer and you want to vent, how do you communicate your anger? How do you ensure that you don't go overboard or don't do it in a way that you don't really register the anger properly? You just spoil things for yourself and for other people. How do you ensure that you communicate your anger very well, effectively, in the most effective way? That's the topic of today. And Sonia, to start with, when last were you like very angry?
Maybe that was in January.
I've ever broken pots on somebody's face
Ah.
before. Yeah, but me, oh.
Please, you can see me as you're looking at me like this. I
But,
cannot fight
but they don't break pots on your
at
on
all.
your own head
Please,
before.
I don't anything that will make anybody to alter my physical look. I avoid it
But you see that there are people whose response to anger is to break bottles,
definitely.
and probably to throw fists and just engage in physical fight. But yeah, let's talk about anger now. And like I said, it's an integral part of human beings. We all get angry from time to time over sometimes irrelevant issues. I think there's only one person in this life that I've met who never got angry. Don't know whether he didn't get angry or didn't know how to express his anger.
I think it's more like he knew how to maybe manage it.
I'm not sure his management. This person was extremely cold. The kind of cold that is repugnant, sort of. If you kind of beat him, like, why are you beating me? It doesn't look like so cold, and I don't know. I've never seen that person angry or reacting to situations or anything. But anyway, that's just one example. I wouldn't know how he is now. That's like 10 years ago or more. I don't know. Probably things have changed for that guy. His name is Wilson, by the way. Wilson, if I watch this video or hear this thing, just know what I'm talking
Hey,
about.
good my God, bro.
No, mind me. But yeah, as I was saying, anger is an integral part of human beings. Well, if you ever get angry, Sonia, what is your best go-to method for communicating your anger for you personally?
Okay. I think first of all, for me, maybe let's start with times that I've managed anger properly. It would be maybe to just calm down first. I like to tell myself to calm down, that it's not that deep.
Yeah.
Because if I don't do that, I'll maybe obviously I won't carry bottle, but I just always feel like the best thing to do in situations when you're angry or sad, the first thing to do is to calm down.
Okay.
So I prefer to just say things to myself like it's not that deep or whatever, and calm down. and low-key, you can tell when a conversation is about to get to that point. I try to like not even get to that point of being angry.
Yeah.
So maybe it's more like being worked up, because to get angry is like a whole different ball game.
It's like a process. It doesn't
Yes,
happen at
like
once.
it hardly happens. Like before something has to be really, really serious for it to like for the first thing to emotion to be evoked from you to be anger. So it's more like maybe you get worked up first, you get pissed, you get upset. So that upset is the point that I just immediately start to curb it. Like, okay, I'm about to get pissed. This person is about to like really get me angry or something, and I just try to excuse myself from it.
Before
Just
it
try, yes,
escalates.
exactly. Because I know that I think I've worked a lot over time to ensure that I'm not in situations where I'm angry. Because I think when you're angry, one, there are different kinds of emotions. Maybe you could cry, you could exchange words. For people who cannot physically fight, and I know I cannot physically fight, so I don't really like to be in situations where somebody
Yeah.
has to throw blows at me. If it's getting heated, I'm like, sorry, you are right, I'm
You're
wrong.
right.
I just don't like it. I just don't like those situations because, and I've seen like heard stories. I try to learn from stories. I've heard stories where people were angry and it was one feast they threw and it was their tickets to prison or something. The next person died. I even saw a video recently. People were two guys were exchanging blows. Like somebody blew somebody first. The other person wanted to do counter attack. Oh yeah, now blew the other guy. And next thing you know, just like bang, bang, and he was on the floor.
Just like that.
And it turned from blowing him to, my guy, wake up now. This kind of,
Yeah.
it was a muted video, so it had a bit of parody to it, but it was not funny because a woman was passing. I was like, okay, you people can see. You've seen what you've done. And it's just, I just try to like learn from these things. I just try to remember that not everybody's okay.
Yeah.
And I mean like healthy wise, not everybody's healthy. Some people are walking around and you think they're okay, that their mind is in one place. They're just looking for the next person that will just slap them so that they can fall and just end it.
And not to dice anybody, but it's like the most unhealthy people are always the one that are charging to fight. Like, let's fight.
Very often.
Let's get
Very,
physical.
very often.
Yeah.
So you don't know anybody's health status. And like it's just a rule of thumb. I try to like tell anybody, you don't know anybody's health status. It's one person that you just mistakenly slap. They can look big. You don't know that maybe they're hypertensive. You don't know what it is that could be the problem. You just mistakenly like get in a brawl with someone, you hit the person. It could be just something very minute you just do and that'll be the end of the person. Nobody wants to hear that person even maybe got you riled up, started the argument, started the confrontation. So honestly, I try to avoid anger. Everybody gets to that point of being upset. I don't think anybody can not, you have to be upset. There's always maybe that annoying person that just doesn't get it. So you would definitely be upset. But I think to get to the point of anger, you'd have had to like stay there and allow the person to keep on piling it up. Or for some people, they go back and they're overthinking on it, which I think is another perspective. Because in talking about people and managing anger, there are the people who get angry and you think that they're going inside to like calm down, but they're going inside to ruminate. And ruminating can be very, very, very dangerous, especially for introverted people, because you go back and you're thinking and you're thinking and you're thinking and like you're thinking about all these scenarios. Like, that's how you just see people coming out and they just start shouting, no, who do you think you are? And in your mind you're thinking, I thought they had finished the argument. I thought everybody had gone. Like she looked like she had walked away or he had walked away. And all of a sudden the person comes out like, no, I want you to tell me who you think you are. And it's because the person has just really, really, I just think the best is just go somewhere quiet, let it out. Like, not let it in.
Yeah.
Let it in is thinking on it. Let it out, let it go. Do something that makes you happy. Listen to a song that makes you happy. You can even call a friend and even talk about it. Talking about it really, really helps. If you're angry with someone and you just realize you talk to someone, look, can you imagine what that person did? And the other person, hopefully, is not the person that is maybe going to fire you up and say, go and slap the person. If you're lucky and maybe the person is a good friend, and like, can you imagine? You might maybe insult the person a little, but then it will probably die there. But that whole thing that pushes you, once you get to that point where you're exchanging words, you're shouting, you're realizing that if you see a video of yourself right now, you'll be embarrassed. You have gotten to that angry point, and it's not necessary.
Just leave the scene at that moment.
Yeah, so the best thing is just leave the scene first. Go in and think on it first.
But yeah, now that you've mentioned all of that, I believe they are personal for you, and of course they'll be useful to some people listening to us or watching us right now. But let's talk about some unhealthy ways that people communicate their anger. When you talk about introverts,
Yeah.
I can tell, knowing that myself, I'm quite introverted, and there are things I've done before that I shouldn't have done.
Oh, okay.
Not really out of anger, but okay,
We'll talk
it's
about
still
it after
anger. Maybe
after
bottled
this.
up anger, because when it happened, I did not react. Just went back to go and prepare my
revenge.
vengeance, and it was hot and loud.
Introverts do this a lot. They are always plotting vengeance.
Just that moment when you're doing your own, just leave me. Don't worry, and then go back and plot. And when I serve it, will be hot, piping hot. But yeah, that's that. Let's talk about some unhealthy ways that people communicate their anger, and maybe let's start with displaced aggression or misplaced aggression, where someone gets you angry and you take it out on
every
another
other person
or
but
every
the
other person
person.
around you. If you are a husband who went to work and your boss probably shouted at you before you came home, and you just come back to your house and you start shouting at your wife and children, and that night there's no peace in that house because of what happened at
Everybody's
your workplace.
working on
Or even
tiptoes.
you, a woman, probably went somewhere at the meeting, women's meeting, because like women always have meetings.
I don't understand. Oh my goodness.
As a side note, every Sunday I see women in different uniforms going for meeting for this. So
We're a busy gender. We are very busy.
actually, people are very busy.
We're very busy.
So when you go to those meetings, those women meetings that women attend, and probably someone said something that triggered you, you bring it back to your house, and somehow your attitude to other people change, your attitude to your children and husband change, and you become so much aggressive that nobody can even talk to you. So let's talk about misplaced or displaced aggression now. Why do people misplace their aggression?
I think it usually happens in a situation where the person you're angry with is in a sort of higher position than you.
yeah.
Because normally if you're on the same level with you, you would pass the aggression, not necessarily pass it. You would get that thing sorted out with them.
Yeah.
But it's in a case where your boss says something to you, I don't want to use the Nigerian parlance and say they did not give birth to you properly. I've turned it to the English, but you understand. But it's harder to maybe look at your boss and say, and so what, sir? So what, ma? I don't care. You won't do that. But inside yourself, you're just boiling. So, obviously, you can't take it on that person, but it's still there. And because you have not taken our time, like we said in the earlier part of the show, to sit down and, calm down and let it go, and just tell yourself that it's not necessarily about you. You're not the person that they're trying to project. So because you're still keeping it, imagine they shout at you at work by 9 a.m. and you don't close till 4. Then you get to your house by 5. You've been keeping up you've Winter has boiled and you've been served. You're still angry for the past maybe 8 hours or so, and then you go home. Somebody just mistakenly, it can just be a small thing. Maybe your child is shouting, but they shout every day. Other days they shout, you're stop shouting. But since you'll be shouting as if something is. So it happens when I feel misplaced anger happens when the person that you're angry with, you're in a sort of, they have a hierarchy that is higher than yours.
Yes.
You cannot take it out on them, or it's more of a positional thing. There's positional imbalance, there's a power imbalance. It even happens with some spouses. Husbands to their wives, maybe they're angry and they can't maybe, for people who cannot express anger properly, they cannot express it to their husbands. Next thing you know, they're shouting on their child, they're beating at their children more than they would on a normal day. Every other person, the housemaid is going to just knows that today is the worst day to be alive. They pass it on everybody but the husband, because maybe there's also a power imbalance and they know they can't say anything to the man. It happens a lot, even in different spheres, but as long as there's a power imbalance, they would not be able to pass it on to that person. They have to pass it on to the next person that they feel is at a lower sort of level than they are.
And the solution to that should be able to partition your emotions.
Yes.
Know that this is just a session of my life, a session of my time. I can't possibly base my entire life, my entire day based on my encounter with one person. So when you become a master of your own emotions, to separate what people did to you and what you should do to other people. When we're secondary school, I used to say, people that want to put in school will know this thing. They say, they did it to me, I have to do it to other people.
Yes.
They say, they stole my shirt, I have to go and pick out that shirt. So
they made me fetch water with spoon.
So I'm not sure that my juniors also fetch this. And so people like to, maybe but what I'm saying is you need to separate your emotions and partition them and know when to actually, keep one aside. Like you said, go back for introspection, check out what even led to this in the first place. If it's a feedback from your boss, you should know that they probably didn't mean evil. They probably didn't mean, of course, there are bosses that want to complain about everything you do, especially when they don't want you there. They want you to get transferred to a different location altogether. But sometimes you have to just keep calm, introspect, take the feedback, and keep that one side. They can't go. I think what happens is that it's going to destroy other relationships you have with other people.
Yeah.
Whether in your family, your friends. Imagine you shouting at your friend of 18 years all of a sudden just becoming honestly violent with them. I mean, that friendship will many one bar. It's just a matter of time before they say no. I can't take this any longer. So if you keep on transferring your aggression to the wrong people or the wrong persons, you're just going to destroy that relationship. But yeah, what are other unhealthy ways that people kind of communicate their anger apart from this transferred or displaced aggression now?
Okay. It could be sort of like shaming. I don't say body shaming, but different kinds of shaming.
Yeah.
You're angry with someone, they do something annoying to you, and next thing the person resolves to is sort of verbal shaming. They can maybe come at your body or come at maybe your something that you know that maybe that person might hurt them. So you can come at maybe, oh, look at you are jobless for the past how many years, you're still like this at home, or look at you've never had anything important. It's like for them, especially for people who might not be physical, their best way is always verbal. So they notice that, okay, I know that if I try to punch this person, I'm the one that will end up in the hospital. They always have the sharpest mouths. So they'll take out their anger with words that they know that if in the next couple of minutes they sat down and they were quiet, if they had sat down rather and they were quiet, they would really regret. So some people take out their anger verbally, and it's very, very, very wrong. I'm not saying that you can't communicate verbally, because that's actually the best way to do it. But there's the choice of words. Some people have very, very poor choice of words. You hear people saying things like, if I'd opened my mouth to say it, what I would have said, they would have cried blood. they will be thinking. You know, Nigerians are so dramatic when they're talking. Like, if I had told her what was on my mind, my dear, she would have just been thinking. She would think she would cry. So some people have very, 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 as in they will just say things that even happens in like maybe just little altercations with maybe friends, and then you just say something that even you, the person that they are angry with or that is angry with you, be like, like, was it that serious? So some people have very, very poor choice of words when they're angry, and I think that's one of the worst. And sometimes I even feel like it's worse than physical, because if you beat somebody, how about if you have finished fighting each other, you go and take paracetamol? But what said cannot easily go. If you do something very, very hurtful to someone, even like months after, years after, even when they've tried to like let it go, something can just make it pass their mind. But that whole maybe any other sort of thing you'd have done, they can laugh about it, but that word thing, they'll just feel like you meant it. You meant what you said. This is exactly how you feel. You've been trying to like keep it to yourself, but that whole moment when you were sort of uninhibited, you just let everything out. So words are like one of the ways people like sort of relay their anger wrongfully.
So it's not just what was said, it's how it was said.
Exactly.
Just the choice of words.
The choice of words.
Well, there's also like stonewalling, more like silent treatment.
Silent treatment.
For most people. Sorry for your gender.
I think it happens for people in relationships a lot.
Yeah.
Everybody's keeping silent treatment. If you don't talk, I won't talk.
Instead of coming out to discuss what happened and find a way to move on, resolve the situation, and continue with their lives, people will just say, just to frustrate the other person emotionally, I'm not talking to you.
How are you? Fine.
Even how are you? Fine. Some people don't give no talking.
You not hear that I'm greeting you.
Ignore completely, and that's quite unhealthy.
Yes, it is.
Because nobody can get into your mind, and it's even worse when there was no like altercation.
Yeah.
Maybe they did something that they don't even know they did.
Exactly.
And
there's some people that feel that there's some very, very free people that they feel like even if you and somebody had an argument, the next day they just feel, it has passed now. There are people like that, and that's one thing some people don't know.
Yeah.
You're still keeping this, but the other person's like, it was not yesterday. Today's a new day. The sun is shining. Let it go. I remember there's a quote they say about anger that anger is, I think, anger and malice, especially because anger leads to malice anyway. So it's like thinking that you had a prisoner. It's like, I think something about having a prisoner in locking up someone in a prison, only to open the door and find out that you were always the one in the prison. Because it's you. You're keeping it in your mind. The other person might not know, might know, but you're the one who's having the most emotional damage. Because almost throughout that day, any small thing that happens, you're thinking about it, and you end up, because it builds up from that. I think stonewallers are even the worst when it comes to this whole anger management thing. Because from stonewalling, because you have to always ensure you are keeping up that front. Imagine every single time the person comes to you, you have to just remember, I'm angry at this person. Next thing you know, you are going to just be angry throughout the day. Even people you are not angry with, suddenly you start passing aggression. So from stonewalling, you go into passing aggression, keeping malice. It's just such a whole, it's just a lot.
It just reminds me of a video I saw some time ago where a wife was showing a husband a funny video, and the video was quite funny. But while watching the video, remember that he was angry. He just stopped laughing and dropped the phone and just to maintain that anger.
Oh my goodness.
People do it.
Yeah.
Like people just forget that they were angry with you. Then they remember in between something like, no, they have to erect that wall again to make sure that. But yeah, enough of that. Let's move on to let's actually piggyback on how to communicate your anger effectively, and how to become just a better communicator when you are angry. And I will start with self-reflection. If someone angers you, something triggered it, what led to the anger? You should sit down on your own and find out, why am I even angry? Because that's that they said to you, they'll say it's a different person and they'll not get angry over the same. So why did that thing trigger something in me that made me angry? Find out find out the root of your anger, and from there you can begin to find actions that you can take that might help you to face that anger head on, either by going to the person and meeting them and say, I don't like what you said or whatever, or if there's a different way, just by the time you do your self-reflection and introspection, you come up with the best way possible for that particular situation to communicate your anger, because there's no perfect way to communicate anger. It just depends on the particular scenario that you are facing at the moment. But yeah, what other way do you want to share?
I'll say sort of practice, like make it a daily practice to tell yourself things when people get you angry or when they're about to get you angry. Just look inwards, tell yourself things like, you don't have to react. You don't have to react. Just be quiet. Just let it go. And it might be very difficult in the first couple of maybe weeks or months of even trying to practice it, especially if you maybe are constantly in situations where there is a sort of a permanent person in your life that will always make you angry. Maybe you're just maybe at a job and the person that sits beside you every day makes you angry. Or you're at home, you have maybe someone that came and, do you understand that kind of thing? Yeah. You have to learn how to practice the whole art of once you detect, like I say, you don't have to wait till you're angry. It's in stages. Once you detect you're upset, you're starting to get pissed, look inwards, because it will be hard. It's not every time you can get the chance to stand up and go somewhere quiet and self-reflect and talk to do you understand? Practice. Some things happen on the spot. Imagine, like, for example, your somebody higher than you is talking to you, maybe in a way that is sort of destructive, in a way that would get you riled up. There's no way you're going to say, excuse me, I want to go and talk to myself and come back. There's nobody you understand. There's some people that you just can't say that to, especially if you're like in a very fixed or closed setting. So you need to practice, like, at that point in time, go inwards, inside of yourself, and be like, okay, it's not that serious. Understand that what the person is saying might be hurtful, but it's not that serious. I can just stay calm, and after the person is done, I would look inwards or go somewhere quiet and, sort things out. Practice talking to yourself, reminding yourself that it's never that serious. If you are in, it happens a lot on the road. Nigerian roads, and somebody drives and
the bus I entered. Oh my God! People beside me almost fought.
Oh my goodness!
And I was there like
in the
middle. Over what? As over tiny. If I can't even say it because it's embarrassing for me to even say it on air. But yeah, it was so tiny to cause that kind of anger for two grown-up men, two people's fathers, about to throw fists in the bus publicly. But yeah, please.
Always just like basically look inwards and just say to yourself, it's not that serious. Even when it is seemingly that serious, you still have to calm down. Yeah. Because there's some cases that actually might be serious. For example, maybe somebody's owing you money and then they have been hiding from you. You finally see them in the market using your money to buy new earring or new clothing. That might be annoying. In fact, you even totally skip the upset and peace and you just jump to anger. But I think it's still important, even in those situations, to like calm down, because it's just one thing that you will say or do, and you're on the internet. People are so quick. There are so many online people these days that are ready to just film you.
Everywhere, some people are recording everything
so quickly. Hey. So always remember that calm down. I don't have to be the person that starts shouting or because some people, even for like things like people who are emotional that cry easily, when some people's reaction is crying, you also have to tell yourself, because you're gonna be crying everywhere. You can't just everybody just start crying. Just start crying. No. You can't do that. You have to always remind yourself, I have to calm down. It's not that serious. I need to just take it easy. These things happen. Sometimes people are angry and I have no control. That's the most important thing. Remember that you always probably never have control over the next person's emotions. You can't control it. You can't control how somebody walks in the morning, what happened in their house the morning before they came. You can't control those things. So even if they're trying to pass aggression or have a new anger, whatever are you, remember to tell yourself, it's not that serious. It's not about them. It's not about me. They're probably angry about something, but I don't have to react the same way. Talk to yourself. That's the best thing to do.
And just to add, you know how people often think that walking away or keeping quiet is a sign of weakness?
Yes.
Be like someone is chicken eye inside. It's like chicken hand.
Hand inside your eye.
And keeping quiet. But that's not really the situation here. Keeping calm or walking away is actually a sign of strength. It means you are resilient. It means you're able to withstand you don't allow them to get under your skin easily.
And even by doing that, you can come back and now talk properly because you've had time to sit down and really think. Because there's a very high tendency that you start talking immediately and you say the wrongest of things. But when you've gone back to sit down to calm down, you can come back. It might even be one of the situations you're like, it's not even that serious. I'll just let it go. Or if it's something that you feel like you need to attend to, you'll be in a better position to come and say, this and this is what you did and blah 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 blah. But if you just start talking that particular time and the other person who is angry, they would even if you're not planning to say something annoying or something bad, they would fuel you up in such a way that the things that you've never said in your life you say in that moment.
And you know, like you mentioned earlier, words do stick.
Definitely.
Because you might recover from a physical fight, but those words you spoke to each other that moment, you might reconcile. Those words will still be there.
Yes.
I mean,
it's always be a wall. It's just be like an elephant in the room.
So you said that in that time. Each time I see you, I remember that, wow, you actually called me this, or I called you that. But yeah, it will always be there. But anyway, you also need to sharpen up your conflict resolution skills.
Yes.
Sometime a few weeks ago, we discussed that.
Conflict
you can
resolution.
find that on Sonia's YouTube channel, by the way. It'll be up soon. And you need to sharpen your conflict resolution. Know how to resolve conflicts amicably. Everything is not a shouting match. Everything is not does not have to involve like throwing fists or just making noise. Just sharpen. Watch that video anyway, and you might pick one or two things about conflict resolution. And finally, seek support.
Yes.
Because there are people that have anger issues.
That their own, they actually do have anger issues.
You might want to seek professional help, professional support for yourself or for others. If maybe your husband or wife has terrible anger management,
or even your children. I think people should be more like observant of their kids, because people who are husbands, children, bosses, colleagues that have anger issues did not just start one morning. Some of them developed when they were children, and because it was left unchecked, it became that way. Things you hear of maybe people being abusive partners, it starts from somewhere. People need to be more observant, especially for parents. They need to be more observant of their children. Look at how they react to things. You see some children, any small thing they are fighting, you're like, hey, good. Don't let anybody to just you have to. It's not every time, like just anything. They just go and beat somebody's child up. You're like, good. Why would they beat you? You see things like parents who come see their children crying, like, you safe. You cannot beat somebody back every time. You just allow them beat you. This. You have to start watching some things. It's not every single time. I know that sometimes you want the child to like defend themselves. Okay, but there's some things that they will do. You too, inside your mind, you're scared. Imagine being scared as a parent. You have to start like looking at those things and helping them out immediately. It's best to help them out when they're younger. People say it's hard to change an adult. It's very difficult to change somebody who's grown up, but somebody who's still a child can be changed.
They're like sponges. They absorb whatever you give to
and sometimes it's what they're seeing that they're doing. Sometimes it's the way you're reacting to situations that they're seeing and they're observing, and they begin to think, okay, that is the right way to react.
I mean, there are like studies everywhere to prove that children that watch their fathers slap their mothers grew up to become abusive partners as well. And just things that parents do over time influence the actions that their children will take in their own lives,
even the environment, even what they watch.
So that's very important. Anyway, this is where we're going to end for today's episode. Thank you everyone for tuning in, and thank you, Sonia, for being here anyway, by fire and by force and by thunder. Thank you everyone. Until next Tuesday, my name is still Emmanuel Ebo. I am saying good day. Enjoy the rest of your Tuesday.
Bye
for now.